Okay, it's Wednesday, February 8th. This is an end of the day SPY recap. And today, the market or the SPY was generally an inside bar with a little bit of a red bias to it. You can see here we're an inside. We didn't take out the highs or the low. And that sort of sets up some interesting opportunities in the days and maybe week ahead. So we'll get into that in a minute. But first of all, in terms of today, I discussed on the closing video yesterday how yesterday was technically an outside day, a 3-bar, and that means, you don't know if you're going to get continuation or failure, given that it's broadening action on a very small time frame. So even though it looked like a 2-up bar that should continue higher, you weren't going to get that unless you really kind of opened up strongly here. The pre-market range between the blue lines, it was near the bottom to start. Either open up strongly there and follow through quickly, or open up near the high. Ideally, open up near the high of that range and break out right from the start, take out that bar, and then head towards these highs. But as it turned out, neither happened. The first bar started out green. It tried to rally, but it did nothing for 4 bars, in a row, inside, and then there was a break to the downside. So I actually bought some puts there on the SPY, although I described in my videos why I wasn't that excited about it, given that we have the inside bar here. And but it was worth a shot. Then it wasn't really moving down at a pace I liked. I broke even. Frankly, if I didn't do that, I could have easily had a nice small gain here because I was looking to scale out kind of into this fair value gap right here. I discussed it on the thing and moved right there. It's held, but it closed near the low, so you don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, it was a day, for the SPY itself. You patiently waited, watched the open. The only opportunity in this day was to try to go short, and it would have worked out if you just hung in there and kind of knew where the target was. For me, just quickly, instead, I actually at the beginning I bought some stocks. Unlike the SPY, Netflix had a good opening and moved above its first bar high in the pre-market highs, and that's why I bought that, and I had a small gain there. Tesla was the same thing, a strong start. Followed through a little bit, gave you a small gain. And then when the market was coming down, I actually bought Tesla on a secondary buy right here. And again, a nice small gain on that. So there were still opportunities, even though my SPY trade, I kind of was a little conservative and broke even where I could have made some money, but it still ended up a decent small day. And that's all you could expect on a day like that. That's an inside day. So anyway, what's developing now? So the weekly chart is just inside on the week. So again, it's just nothing. There's no real actionable. The only interesting actionable signals will occur into kind of next week, where either you get an inside bar and then maybe have a down move, or you get a down bar failure and start back up to the midpoint and then reverse back upside. On the daily chart now, at least we have an actionable signal for tomorrow. On the downside, we come down, but whenever I see inside bars, I'm always looking for failures, and especially that I'm seeing just not really much strong momentum here to the downside after making a big run up. So to me, I would love to see it come down, fail even to reach its target, which is that that low of a couple of days ago, and then start up through the midpoint and get ready to buy again, because the bias is still to the upside until we break the red line and the gold line here. These are the middle of the last week, and the gold line turns the monthly chart red. We're still in an upward mode, but the interesting inflection area here is we kind of worked up in an inside month, took out its highs, and could the month be possibly failing? The same way I described how an inside bar on the downside could fail if we start down, don't reach our target, and then come back up through the range. Who knows? Maybe we went up on an inside month, hit our target, and we'll come back down through the midpoint of the monthly range. But that's the only way this month's going to fail. I'd like to hold the green open, even though we're kind of pausing for a few days here, and start back up as February, as the month of February moves on. That will keep that opening price pretty stable to me if we can get a move starting back up again. So I'm still biased to a breakout to the upside. It's just a question of how it's going to happen. Are we going to immediately go above this inside bar tomorrow? In which case, look for, these highs as targets, or are we going to come down and maybe fail tomorrow, or are we going to come down, reach our target, stay red, maybe end up with an inside week and have to wait for some kind of an inside week signal, to go back up next week? So you don't know. Key inflection area after markets moved up big and hit some key targets, and now it's just kind of in this pausing area, and we're all trying to decide what it's doing next. But price action, as always, will lead us to the next move.